Rob Tebbutt here with the magic man himself, Antonio Tarver. We're here in Las Vegas.
Man.
It's fight week, champ. What a big one we've got coming up this weekend. All the marbles at welterweight. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford. Talk to me about the fight.
Man, it's so thick. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, man. It's just two fighters have worked, trained their ass off, and they're at the peak right now. They're at their very best in their meeting, man. They're on a head-on collision. But neither one of these freight trains ain't moving, bro. So it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I sense that. I can sense, kind of feel Hagler Hearns type. But then somebody gather their wits and say, hey, you know, it's an easier way to do this. And then it comes down to the technical battle. You feel me? Where it's skill versus skill, man. And I think that's the type of fight we're going to end up with the fireworks coming early and with it simmering down a little bit. I think somebody's getting knocked out, bro. I just think Errol Spence and Crawford is such at a high right now, peak right now, that anything could happen. They're going to be so sharp in that ring. I like Crawford, but I'm nervous.
Now, in the build-up to this, I think it's fair to say it's been like quite quiet, respectful.
Very respectful.
Today it got a bit spicy, didn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't know about how you felt about it.
Hey, it was great to see the trainers going at it. Even a couple of the family members was getting at it. But that goes to show you, everyone has bought in from each side. They're all in on this fight. You feel me? Each can't believe they're deserving of this victory.
Breaking down the fight, I think it's fair to say that people have kind of looked at Spence as the naturally bigger guy, but Crawford may just have that X factor. How do you see the fight going out? What are the strengths and the weaknesses for each guy?
I think what Errol Spence does, he does better than anyone. Put that pressure on. Crawford is one of those type of fighters that he can morph into anything. He can do some of anything in the ring. So there's never really, you don't know what bag he gonna go in. But I think his tool bag is full. And I think when you look at Errol Spence, I've seen him do what he do better than anybody, but I've seen him do that one thing, and that's just aggressiveness. He may need 2 or 3 other game plans in case that first one don't work. He's gonna have another bag to go through and to go to. And I think that Earl's gonna show us something we don't expect and we never seen before. He's gonna have to, because once that first plan don't work, then he's gonna have to resort to something else.
A lot of talk about the pound-for-pound list going into this one. Does the winner of Saturday night become the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport?
I think so, because I don't think any other fighter has faced an opponent at this level, at this higher level. You know what I mean? Inoue showed that he was much better than Fulton, but how much better is he than the rest of the guys near that weight class? You know what I'm saying? How much greater can he be? The book is out, but he has a lot of potential. Definitely the sky's the limit, because he looks like the goods, man. That's the type of power, boxing ability, and poise that you want to see from a young champion. I mean, every punch seemed like it had GPS on it. It knew exactly where it was going. And that you don't see a lot. Not from no level of fighter. That's special. When you get a fighter in there, he throw 5 punches, all of them land exactly where he want them. That's what you call placing those shots. He ain't just throwing. Those shots has direction on them. And when he land, he has all of the power, the leverage, precision on the punch. So he's a special fighter, man. I just can't wait to see more of him with bigger competition. They already talking about Gervonta Davis. I think that's about 2 or 3 years away. But if he can fill out and take that power up, I mean, he's going to be a tough out for anybody. Reminds me a little bit of a more technical Prince Hamed with power in both hands. You feel me? The destruction that he fights with reminds you of a young Pacquiao. So, hey, when you're talking about comparing him to those type of great fighters, yeah, he has the future, man. It's his if you want it.
You mentioned Gervonta Davis. Who would you like to see Tank fight next?
Tank got to clean up around his weight class. You know, we know who has all the belts. I hear he's fighting Colbert next. There's a lot of names like that are hovering around that he can stay busy on. But to elevate his marquee and his brand, he's going to have to fight another fighter, sort of like Ryan, that had that type of attention on him. You know, a bigger fighter, a guy with a belt, Shakur Stevenson, someone like that. That's noteworthy. That's notable.
It feels like we're getting spoiled at the minute as boxing fans. We've got big event after big event. One that we've got coming up at the end of September, Canelo Alvarez
Oh my
versus
God.
Jermell Charlo. Undisputed versus undisputed. Can Jermell pull it off?
Depend on what Canelo shows up. Depend on where Canelo is. This is going to be a measuring stick to show the world what Canelo is. Is he still the Canelo of old? Can he get back to his old ways? Sometimes those old seasoned pros get stuck in their ways and they don't want to revert back. They don't want to do the things that's going to make them a better fighter or make them more prepared to face what they're coming. He signed a contract to fight 3 of the best fighters in the world. So I think Canelo knows his back against the wall, and we're going to see what pressure does to a great champion. If he rises to the occasion and beat Charlo, shit, he gonna put the world on notice that shit. He might still be pound for pound.
Okay, Chad, before I let you go, prediction time, how does it end? Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford for all the marbles at welterweight.
It could end abruptly at any time. I think both of these fighters have the ability to knock each other out. I just think when it comes down to it, if Bud get in trouble, I think he knows how to recover. If he has to adapt or do something different, I think he knows how to do that. If Errol Spence has to do something different, I don't know if he can do that good enough to beat a Crawford, but we will see. I mean, great fights make these fighters elevate their games to places they didn't even know they could go. So we might see something that no one has ever thought we will see Saturday night. Errol Spence doing something different to win the biggest fight of his life.
Okay, the magic man himself, Antonio Tarver, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing News. Pleasure to catch up with you.
Always a pleasure, my guy.
Look forward to catching up with you next time.
Thank you.